So again, thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you Holyoke Media for hosting Ken for his final summer performance of Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard. I want to also recognize Springfield Mass Studios, its CEO Brian McFarland, who's here in the back, and Anthony Zalowski, I always want to add another syllable in there, CEO of Cellar Door Productions. Both of these gentlemen have been a great support and behind the scenes working with Ken in this production. Please keep your eyes and ears open on social media for upcoming events for them too as well. They're great visionaries and they are creators. They are certainly driven by their passion and their arts with film. And again, I just want to thank them for making Ken's dream tonight come true. Ken Harris is a renowned award-winning filmmaker. His most recent work, A Mind Made for Murder, directed and filmed by SMS and Cellar Door Productions, premiered this past fall at the Towers Theater in South Hadley. Tonight, Ken will step out on this stage for his final debut in his one-man play, Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard. Under the guidance of his esteemed mentor, Chaz Palmentier, Harris masterfully weaves a poignant and humorous tale of self-discovery following a transformation of a complacent security guard turned into a loss prevention officer. This is a tribute to the bygone, iconic malls and our department stores. This also showcases Ken's versatility as a storyteller. So without further ado, thank you again for being here, and I would like for you to welcome Ken Harris in Foes of a Minimum Wage Guard.
Hey there! Come on in and have a seat. This is quite a big group we have here today. Welcome to the new hire orientation. My name is Smelly, Steve Smelly. Now don't you all get it twisted with my last name. It originated from my ancestors from over in Scotland. Over there, the surname defines people who have a nice smile or a happy personality. For this phase of your onboarding process, I was asked by your store managers to explain how we work with your teams. I've been employed at the Fashion Spirit department store for 21 years. Can anyone guess my job title for loss prevention? I have a gift for anyone who knows. I am a security guard, not security officer, security guard. Our cleaners are not called custodians, they're called janitors. Our employer prefers oppressive job titles. They want us essential workers to feel expendable. To those who guessed my job title correctly, you can go to the Fashion Spirit website and print out your $1 coupon gift. As a member of loss prevention, I help deter theft and maintain a safe business environment. While I went into the store for 8 hours looking handsome, I report suspicious activity to my team with this trusty radio. Observe and report. That's it. That's all I do. I do not chase or detain shoplifters. Or this arthritis, it wouldn't do me good anyway. Now don't shoot the messenger here. This Springfield store location is understaffed. None of you are guaranteed a day off. We have 7 days in a week, right? Well, your manager will have you slaving on all 7 of those days, minus the holidays without pay. What do you think happens with the other days you're not scheduled to work? If you had that. My friends, you are on standby. You are required to call your manager at a designated time. You must find out if you are to come to work. Most of the time, you'll be told to get in here. In our business, associates get fired for 1 or 2 reasons. non-compliance, or for being dishonest. I'm going to relate to you my own experience about dishonesty. It had a profound impact on my life. I never saw it coming. It changed me. I call it a moment of self-discovery. I hope my story can help you resist temptation. It happened a year ago. It was a heat wave of a Monday morning. Inside the Bay Street Diner, I'm sitting across the table from my beautiful daughter, Holly. She has a striking resemblance to my late wife, Sabrina, who died of lung cancer 18 years ago. Rather than eat her bacon, her Bible is flipped open. Dad, do you remember this verse from church yesterday? Proverbs 25:28. Whoever has no rule over his spirit is like a city broken down without walls. A person without self-control is just that. Control your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts control you. Holly, if you're not going to eat that bacon, I'll gladly go T-Rex on it. This is precisely what this verse means. You've been staring at my plate for 5 minutes. You're lacking self-control. The message in Proverbs warns us to be careful. A city without walls has nothing to do with my stomach. You sound just like your mother. Now you gonna eat that bacon or what? Then my phone starts buzzing in my pocket. I recognized the name of my best friend, Gus Ghetto. I was very proud of that man. Gus, I knew you weren't gonna finish your last week. Tell me you didn't give Mr. Shivers the middle finger on your way out the door. You never know if you need to come back someday. A righteous man should never burn bridges. Very funny, Steve. You know I'm an atheist. Don't worry. I will finish my last week on a positive note. Listen, I called to warn you. There's no one on duty in the loss prevention department. Say what? Mr. Coldstone will call you to come into work. Whatever you do not answer your phone. No. I talked to Mr. Coldstone an hour ago. He said I'm a free man. Randy and Carla reported to work. What do you mean no one's on duty? That's a long story. You'll find out soon enough. Just don't answer your phone. Better yet, turn it off. You won't get in trouble. Store policy requires you to call in only once. And if a manager excuses you for the day, that decision cannot be reversed. You're in the clear. For once, lay that bastard Coldstone high and dry. Did Randy and Carla get fired for stealing? Just like what happened to Lori for stealing those flat screen TVs for her boyfriend? Steve, your former manager was stupid. I have to get back to work. Enjoy your day off. Forget about Coldstone. Forget about this place. We'll talk later. Bye. Ugh. Dad, did I hear you right? Randy and Carla are not at work. That's what Gus said. No, I meant the part about you asking Gus if he gave Mr. Shivers the middle finger. Did Gus put in his 2-week notice? Yeah, last Monday. What's going on? I thought he enjoyed working at Fashion Sphere. Is he retired like you should be doing? You know I still have 5 more years to pay off my mortgage. Dad, I know that look. You're keeping something from me. Come on, I want to know. All right. There's no point in trying to be deceptive like your brother when he changed his last name from Smelly to Sweet. He did that because he was joining the Marines. Holly, promise me you won't tell anybody. I promise. 3 weeks ago, Gus purchased a $2 scratch ticket. He won $1 million on it. Get out of here. I swear on your mother, I'm the only person Gus shared this with. He hasn't even told his daughter Amanda yet. This is wonderful. Why is he keeping this a secret? What do you suppose Gus would do with all that money? He mentioned something about starting an online business. I figured he's taking his hobby of building mailboxes to the next level. Suddenly, my phone goes off again in my pocket. The phone number on the screen froze the blood in my veins. Dad, is it Mr. Coldstone? Dad, you are well within the right not to answer that. Don't do it. This is your day off. Mr. Coldstone already excused you. But I didn't work Sunday. So what? You haven't had 2 consecutive days off in months. I can't let Mr. Coldstone down. Lord forgive me. The hell with Mr. Coldstone. Language, young lady. This man is putting ramen noodle soup on my table. Mr. Coldstone.
Smelly, do you hear me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear. What can I do for you?
Take a guess, old-timer. Sacrificing your precious little time is what you would do for me. All bets are off for your solitude. I need you in here today to assist me.
So you need me to work today? What about Rainey and Carla? What happened?
I'll fill you in after you get in here. I want to see you in Mr. Shiver's office in a half hour. That will be 11:30. Don't be late. And Smelly.
Yes, Mr. Coldstone.
It was a mistake for you to answer your phone. Now your wrinkled ass belongs to me.
Holly and I left the diner. We went our separate ways. She was disappointed. I climbed into my old rusty Volkswagen. Oh, trouble again. It wasn't turning over. This starter has been a problem lately. Everyone in the parking lot is looking at me like I'm a damn fool. Praise the Lord. The prying eyes watched me roll out. When I got home, I left my car running in the driveway. I hurried inside to get into my security finest. Later, I'm in a break room at Fashion Sphere, putting away my lunch in the refrigerator. Just as I closed the door, Alex Midas, the shoe department manager, startled me. This guy could be Bernie Sanders' twin brother. He just stood there frowning. Alex, you scared the moon rocks out of me.
But I hope you're wearing a diaper. I never leave home without mine. Steve, it has been one hell of a morning. I'm not surprised Mr. Coldstone called you to work. You should have known better than to answer that blasted phone.
Alex, what's going on with Rainey and Carla?
Mr. Coldstone gets paid the big bucks to share breaking news. After all, this won't come as a shock. Several people in this city have been stabbed to death this year for trying to stop shoplifters. Thieves are like bloodthirsty vultures. They're all around us!
Rainey and Carla are dead?
I do wish death for Mr. Coldstone. When his mother ran this store years ago, she was an uppy little bitch, rude and demanding, like mother, like son. It would give me pleasure to see Mr. Coldstone dismantled through a wood chipper while I'm spitting in his face. As for the current store manager, Mr. Shivers, he's a jellyfish coward, and Mr. Coldstone's holding his leash.
I had under 3 minutes to meet Mr. Coldstone. Just as I started to leave, Alex took hold of my arm.
Steve, what's the scoop on my Profit Partner Recognition Award?
Alex, you know the disbursement process can take some time.
Don't give me that cotton candy crap. It's been 3 months since I dropped a dime on your former manager. I saw Lori rolling flat screen TVs out the back door with her crackhead boyfriend. Thanks to me, she was terminated and arrested with that loser. Should I remind you all the missing merchandise was recovered? I saved this store a lot of money.
Yes, you did, Alex. We appreciate your snitching. I mean your tip. You set a good example for the honest associate.
Spare me that sorry bullshit. Mr. Coldstone owes me $300 and 10% of all inventory recoveries. According to the bulletin on that wall, I am eligible for that award.
Alex, I'll remind Mr. Coldstone.
See to it that you do, or I will raise volcanic hell like never before.
After I slipped away from Alex, I made my way down to the executive suite. I found Mr. Shiver standing guard outside his own office doors. The nervous wreck was sweating profusely.
Steve, Mr. Coldstone is inside waiting for you. It's 11:14 a.m. Please hurry.
Inside, I found Mr. Coldstone sitting at Mr. Shiver's desk. He's sipping through some documents, talking to himself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This man applied to be a police officer 6 times. He failed the psychological exam 6 times. Now, his mother pulled strings for him to get this corporate job. 4 years ago, he left the dollar mark chain to work for Fashion Spear. He has been a pain in the ass to everyone ever since. Mr. Coldstone.
Smelly, have a seat.
Oh, okay.
Thanks to a scum walking out of the store without paying for a toaster oven, we lost 2 members of our department. At the store's exit, Carla took hold of a shoplifter's bag concealing the merchandise. Before she could identify herself, the young punk knocked her on her ass. A witness said she withered like a dead sunflower.
Good Lord.
Randy violated store policy by pursuing the suspect into the parking lot. Customers and associates followed him out of the store and witnessed a mismatch. This maniac body slammed Randy and then struck him in the face repeatedly. Not only did Randy lose his teeth, but he also lost consciousness. A police officer happened to be patrolling the mall property. He intervened and arrested the perpetrator.
This is terrible. When Randy and Carla are well enough to return to work, we should throw a welcome back party for them.
They'll never come back to this store. Mr. Shivers called me down to the corporate office. As soon as I arrived, the paramedics were loading Carla into the ambulance. Her swollen face was beyond recognition. She looked at me here, one good eye, she said, "I quit." A lot of good that kickboxing academy has done for her. Who can expect much from a 100-pounder? I would have never hired her. As for Randy, he's in a coma at the hospital. Smelly, I don't mind my associates bending the rules a bit, but you damn well better win. How the hell can we doctor up our reports if we look foolish in public? A man in my position cannot look foolish. If Randy ever wakes up from La La Land, he's gonna find out he's missing more than teeth. He's gonna find a nice pink slip on a table near his bed.
Oh. Well, how soon will it be for you to pull officers from other stores coming and help us?
Smelly, you've been working in this store since the Stone Age. Tell me what you know about shrink.
Well, shrink is merchandise or money that is lost in our day-to-day operations. It can be internal or it can be external.
Tell me the difference between internal and external shrink.
Sir, why are you asking me this?
Because I can.
Well, internal shrink comes from our employees' errors of dishonesty. External shrink is caused by thieves outside of the company, mainly through burglary and shoplifting.
Smelly, you impressed the hell out of me. Your brain generates just enough cells to get by. Now, what happens today will determine whether or not you remain employed here. Due to our department shortage, I am reassigning you to a loss prevention department detective, effective immediately.
The world around me became deathly still. One side of my face felt saggy. I thought I was having a stroke, and I struggled to compose myself. Mr. Coldstone, I am flattered, but I have been serving the store as a guard for 20 years. I enjoy it. Thank you for your generous offer, but I have to decline it.
Are you declining to continue working here?
Mr. Coldstone put on his glasses and adjusted them downward. He held up a copy of a job posting from 20 years ago.
Allow me to refresh your exceptional brain cells on a job posting from the company's archives. Yeah. Quote, as a retail guard, you will deter theft and maintain a safe business environment. When a vacancy becomes available, this position leads to a loss prevention detective, end quote. Apparently for 20 years, you slipped through the cracks. On behalf of the store, please accept our apologies for overlooking you.
Mr. Coldstone, please have mercy. I'm just a useless old bag. I have arthritis. I can't possibly detain shoplifters or perform audits. I can't even balance what little is in my checkbook.
You're it, Smelly. My decision is final. Enjoy your 0-cent raise.
Great moon rocks.
Now today, while I'm away on company business, you will be the only member of loss prevention on duty. I expect you to take good care of company property until I return to the store at 4:30 this evening.
Why did I answer that phone?
I better not hear as much a tiny battery stolen. If you cannot handle protecting our assets, then you are garbage. I don't take kindly to garbage sitting around for too long. It takes up space and it stinks. I will have to dispose of garbage, just like I did with Lurie and Randy. Do your hairy ears get my drift? Now, at 11:30, we have a briefing with all department managers. Afterwards, I'm leaving the store for a meeting at the corporate office. You fail me once and you will be fired.
Mr. Coldstone wouldn't even let me go home and change out of the security uniform. How did he expect me to work undercover? After crucifying my soul, he had me put my hand over this loss prevention binder. He had me take an oath to uphold the policies of fashion spears of store detectives, so help me God. After I was deputized, he sent me off to the sales floor to get the managers. And I only had 5 minutes to gather the herd. So in the shoe department, I was making my way down the aisle. Instead of seeing Alex, I saw his 400-pound associate, Jeff Osborne. This man breathed like he's connected to life support. We call Jeff Big Country for obvious reasons. For a man who lives in a trailer park with his mother, he has a perverted sense of humor. You see, Jeff will hurt your feelings. If you happen to see him before he sees you, the smartest thing to do is sneak away quietly. Just as I turn to do that,
Smelly dude, pure wee. I can smell you from over here.
ooh! Jeff struggled to pull himself up. Hey, Jeff, I didn't see you there. Do you know where Alex is by any chance?
I don't know. Maybe in the parking lot he dropped dead of a heart attack. Good, they'll promote me. Come here. Hey, I heard a shoplifter knocked Randy and Carla on their asses. And an ambulance rushed them to the ICU where a priest read them their last rites.
Jeff, that's not funny. Shoplifters are prone to commit violence against loss prevention.
Yeah.
They also pose threats to associates like you.
Stop there, Smelly boy. There are only 2 ways I can vomit. From the crap they serve in the food court of this dead mall, and from your stew of bullshit.
Language, young man. Haven't your mother taught you proper manners?
Growing up, she was always there when I needed her. At the strip club.
The Jeff froze. He looked over my shoulder. We saw my friend Gus watching us some distance away. Gus was rubbing the tip of his nose, which is a habit of his. Gus is a live version of Nintendo's Mario. Like the Quasimodo of Notre Dame, he had hunched shoulders and no neck, spider veins on his bloated cheeks, but he was still my friend. Now, Jeff did not like Gus, and Gus hated Jeff. And whenever he could, Jeff picked on Gus more than anybody. That thing Gus doing with his nose was enough to get Jeff going.
Hey, nosy ghetto. Jeff, I'm not in the mood today. Leave me alone.
Blues are violet, red as a rose. Try picking flowers instead of your nose.
I wasn't picking my nose.
You're disgusting, Mario. Stay out of my department, you booger digger.
I'm like a tsunami. Nice to look at, but dangerous to mess with. You want to throw hands with me, Jeff? Well, come on then, damn it, come on!
Jeff laughed. Gus' face is scarlet red. At this moment, I go over to Gus and I usher him out of the shoe department. I can't believe what I just heard. Gus, a mama's boy, never had a fight in his whole life.
Steve, I don't have to put up with this crap anymore. I'll break my foot up his trailer trash ass.
If you could, Jeff and his attorney will sue you for all that money you won.
Over my dead body. They'll have to pry it from my cold dead fingers. Steve, what are you doing here?
I could use the dough, Gus.
You're my friend. If you need money, I'll be more than happy to help you out.
Well, let's get out of the house. You know, it keeps me from being depressed. You know, after all these years, I still think about Sabrina.
18 years, yeah. Doesn't feel like it's been that long, has it? Well, by now, I'm sure you heard about Randy and Carla.
Yeah. And now Mr. Coldstone had me working as a store detective.
What? Undercover in that uniform? He's out of his cotton picking mind.
Gus, I have to finish round up the managers. We'll talk later. Like sheep, I managed to corral all the managers in the conference room at 11:30 on the dot. Mr. Coldstone sat at one end of the table like the godfather of retail. To his left, Mr. Shivers was standing and shaking like a ticking time bomb. To his right, I was standing and suffering. This was pain at the worst possible time. This morning, I forgot to take my medication for my gout. I had discomfort in my right foot. It felt like I was stepping over broken glass. This was my punishment for eating Hollis bacon. I couldn't keep my foot on the floor. I had to keep it up and swing it like this. Ooh, I was certain Mr. Coldstone would fire me if I couldn't do as much as stand. And meanwhile, faces at the table appeared from all angles. Happy faces, curious faces, worried faces, yet each one was locked on Mr. Coldstone.
The topic for this meeting is inventory control. Last month, I put forward an action plan for the department to reduce shrink. It has been ignored. This store continues to sustain losses. I am pissed. Mr. Shivers, before I fly off the handle, do you have anything to say? Hurry up, spit it out!
Please, everyone, losses hurt our bottom line. Under the great leadership of Mr. Coldstone, we must do better. So please, for the sake of sanity, listen to him.
When I was the loss prevention manager for Dollar Mart, I made an invaluable contribution. By a show of hands, who doesn't recall my success story?
Everyone looked around. Not a single hand went up. Great. Don't want to hear any more of that.
The hell with all of you, I'll tell again anyway. One day, I was making my round through the produce section. I recovered pieces of crushed strawberries all over the floor. Instead of throwing them away, I mashed them up with an open container on a shelf. After I resealed the lid, an old gullible bastard came in and purchased that same case. I did my part in preserving company profits and keeping costs down. While we don't have strawberries in this store, I want you all to think of prevention at all times. Every day, we can save this store thousands of dollars.
At this moment, I'm already dying for this meeting to end. My foot is killing me. I'm swinging it back and forth like a playground swing. And then I misjudged my clearance and kicked the leg of the table. Boom! Everyone stopped and looked at me. And I cracked a smile and petted my foot like it was a pet dog.
It's okay. There you go. Stay there. Stay there.
Then Susan Palmer, Gus's ex-girlfriend who oversees electronics, cleared her throat. Susan has this tendency to crane her long neck forward when speaking. Mr. Coldstone, do you have any news on my missing laser printers?
Susan, your department is not missing printers.
We aren't.
I don't whisper like Mr. Shivers here.
But we received 4 yesterday, and we only had 2 this morning when we did our count. I know we didn't sell any. I checked.
Well, the manifest said 4, but only 2 were checked in. One of your blind associates didn't make the proper notation on the ledger.
But why didn't somebody notify me? I would have called the warehouse and saved us a lot of trouble.
I called the warehouse. It didn't spare your dyslexic department of embarrassing publicity.
Then Sly Gomez from Hardware starts laughing. Oh, Susan, I'm so sorry.
Mr. Gomez, I find your department a laughing matter. Oh, shit. Mr. Coldstone, can you tell me in private? I was observing one of your associates the other day while she was ringing 3 cordless power drills. Well, instead of ringing them separately, she rang one 3 times. You'll get a computer report on your activities. Anybody else see this as funny? Anybody else think this is funny?
I can see Alex looking at me. He is fuming. He's looking for an update on his reward money, and I forgot to ask Mr. Coldstone about it.
Mr. Coldstone, Mr. Coldstone! It's been 3 months. Where is my reward money? Oh, Alex, I almost forgot about the shoe department. I discovered why you're so short on your hiking boots promotion last week. We had missing items. It had been the work of a shoplifter. Wrong. Gus Gettle and receiving only set up half of the inventory. The rest were buried under return merchandise. Wait just a damn minute. We ran out of SKUs before the promotion was half over. You mean my department lost all those sales because Booger Boy and his minions thought we were out of stock? You guessed it, Einstein. Bastards! I will track them down. They will pay for this. Listen up, people. I am up to here with hearing excuses on why your departments are underperforming. I shouldn't have to tell you how to manage your associates. Shape up or get the hell out of here and find another job. This is my final warning.
By now, my foot had given out, and I'm leaning against Mr. Coldstone's chair for support. And he turns to me with those burning red eyes, and I prepare for the worst.
Oh, by the way, Smelly here is now a loss prevention detective. I will be out of the store. If you have any problems, reach out to him by phone or radio. If he lets me down, I will erase his ugly ass. This meeting is adjourned.
Like frantic mice, the managers all scurried out of the room. I dropped myself down into a chair. So far, so good. I didn't get fired yet. And then Mr. Coldstone handed me a clipboard with a long to-do checklist. On the other hand, he gave me a fake gold medal and a generic certificate. Mr. Coldstone, what is this?
How can we forget about Alex? This is his Profit Partner Recognition Award.
But he's expecting payment. Can you give it to him?
You can give it to him. He can just keep that money. He should be lucky that he's getting something at all. If I had it my way, he would get a crumb. See to it that diaper boy gets this. I'm burnt out by bitching. Also, be sure to go over that checklist. I want every task completed by the time I get back.
And like that, Mr. Coldstone was gone like the wind. This medal and certificate was no different than bacteria. I just want to get rid of it. So I crept out into the sales floor like a thief in the night. And when I reached the shoe department, I saw Alex was away from his register conversing with Jeff. I quietly placed his medal and certificate over his register like a grenade and leapt the hell out of there. I looked over Mr. Coldstone's checklist. There was a lot of things to do, and I had until 4:30 to get it all done, or Mr. Coldstone would be done with me. Sly Gomez was on top of his shit list. Ugh. In the harbor department, it didn't take me long to find a plexiglass door unlocked and wide open, exposing our expensive power drills. This irritated me. Mr. Coldstone had written Sly up twice over this, and he still hasn't learned his lesson. Just as my pen touched paper, Sly skidded to a stop.
Hold up there, Steve. I got this.
Sly, you left the cabinet unlocked again.
Don't worry about it. I just sold a power drill from it to a customer. He was in a hurry. I just came back to lock this up.
Didn't Mr. Coldstone warn you a few days ago to never leave a cabinet unlocked? Not even for a second? How long do you think it'd take for someone to reach in here and steal something?
Steve, you're not acting like yourself, man. I was only gone for a minute. Chill out.
Young man, I'm afraid I'm going to have to write you up on this one.
No, don't do me like that. Another write-up could mean a demotion or worse.
Mr. Coldstone will follow with you on this latest infraction. I'm sorry, Sly.
Do you call yourself a Christian? Hypocrite! Excuse me, Steve? Steve?
Hey, Susan. How can I help you?
I need to talk to you. It's about Gus Gettle, a piece of turd you know too well. Now, earlier this morning,
And Susan looked over her shoulder, and she saw Gus watching us while he was stocking computer monitors. Susan became terrified.
I don't want to talk about this here. I have a break at 1 o'clock. Could we meet your office then?
Yeah, I guess so, sure.
Great. I'll see you then.
I wonder what this drama was about. I know those two don't even talk to each other anymore. Even when her department is shorthanded, and Gus is sent over to provide coverage for her breaks. Many years ago, Susan and Gus dated, but she cheated on him with his cousin who used to work here. That was the end of that store romance. Fashion Spirit Law Prevention, how can I help you?
Steve, it's Alex from the shoe department. What is the meaning of this? This medal and certificate? This is not worth wiping my ass with.
Oh, Alex, that's your Profit Partner Recognition Award.
Recognize this. My unity with the department is broken forever. Never again, do you hear me? I will never again snitch in this awful, evil, demonic store. I hate the loss prevention department more than anything. I hope you bastards rot in the fiery pits of hell!
Ugh. Ugh. Before I could shake that one off, Gus patted me on the shoulder.
Hey, Steve, come outside and check out my new BMW.
Your what? You just bought a Mercedes-Benz last week.
Oh, that one's used for going out with chicks. This BMW is for fun with some family members and friends. Come outside and take a look.
Before long, I'm sitting in the front passenger seat of Gus's BMW. Stunned. Gus is behind the steering wheel, chubby face smiling like a teenager with his first car.
This baby's all paid off, just like a Mercedes-Benz. Steve, what did that bitch Susan tell you?
Oh, she called you a turd, and she said she wants to talk to me later about you. It sounded serious.
Well, whatever story she cooks up, don't buy into it. I can't believe I used to live with that twisted left slut. I think she knows I won the lottery. Hey, yesterday in the break room, she sat across from me. She said she wanted me back. She put her hand over mine flirting with me.
After all these years, Susan wanted to rekindle the flames?
Yes, my wealth is the motive.
Well, how did she know about you winning $1 million?
I think she still has access to my email. Yes, I should have changed my password years ago.
Gus, do you really have a girlfriend? Please tell me it's not Ann from Vietnam. Did she come back to you? Now, let me brief you all about Ann for a minute. Oh, my goodness. After the breakup with Susan, Gus joined an international dating website. He connected with a beautiful 25-year-old girl named Ann from South Vietnam. On the phone, he talked to her for hours at a time. But I found it odd that Ann's parents always had a tendency to get sick. Gus would always wire her what little money he had so that they can receive medical services. Against my recommendation, he ripped through his savings and flew out to Vietnam to meet Ann. They went to the best high-end stores and restaurants. Then he comes back to the States and decides he wants to marry her. So he saves more money, even neglecting his daughter Amanda, whom he had with an ex-girlfriend back in the day. Gus petitioned for Ann to come to the States after only knowing her 5 months. And the day Ann flew in was like the best day of his life. He paraded her all over town, blowing what little money he had. On the only night they spent together in his home, she didn't want to share the sheets with him. She thought they should be married first before intimacy, so she had him sleep on the living room couch. Early the next morning, she revealed she had an uncle living in Hartford, Connecticut, and wanted to spend a couple of days there. So she had Gus pack her belongings and drive her out there. Gus never met this uncle. He met a group of gang bikers there siding him up. One of them was a young man covered all in tattoos. Ann threw her arms around him, and they shared a long, passionate kiss. And then his new boyfriend told Gus to hit the road, Jack, and never come back. When Gus got home, he called me crying like a baby.
It's not fair! Why would you do that to me? I gave her so much money! I gave her my time! I gave her everything! It's not fair! Steve, are you daydreaming or something? Here I am talking to you, and you're staring off into space.
Oh, sorry, Gus. I have to get back inside for work. We'll talk to you later, okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye. In a clothing department, I saw this casually dressed customer who I will call Patty. Patty compared 2 unpaid shirts partially inside a shopping bag. Who does that? Who holds up shirts that way unless one is thinking about stealing them? Now, Patty saw me watching her. She returned the shirts to the rack and left for her shopping cart. I followed her to the checkout counter. Over there, an associate took a handbag she was purchasing, unzipped it, and recovered a pair of $200 sunglasses. Ma'am, do you want the glasses too? Oh, no, I didn't know those were in there, no. Okay. Now, was that a dishonest customer trying to make off with our goods? I would bet my minimum wage check she tried to pull a fast one on us. I knew if Patty ever returned to the store, I'd be keeping a close eye on her. Fashion Spirit Law Prevention, how can I help you?
Smelly dude, it's Jeff from the shoe department. I need you to get over here. I have an irate customer. He's accusing me of shortchanging him.
I can hear the customer in the background.
I don't have time for this. Give me my correct change so I can get the hell out of here.
How about I give you a big old country fart? Are you ready for it? Then back the hell off.
No, Jeff, don't do anything crazy. Hold your pipes, I'll be right there. I'm moving fast, my legs can carry me. This gallop made me move like a slow car reeling down on a flat tire. When I reached the shoe department, I saw this mean-looking SOB. He looked like the kind of guy who beat his wife up if his dinner isn't ready on time. He had Vicks Vapor Rub smeared all around his mouth. So naturally, I associated his name as Vic.
Smelly dude, his total for the shoe polish is $28.71.
Liar, oversized pants on fire. Officer, you resolve this now, or my lawyer will be calling you too.
This vapor-faced bandit handed me a 20 and a 10. His change is $1.29, period.
This fat ass is a crook. Look, I just came out to the ATM machine. I took out $100. That's 5 20s. I gave him 2 20s. The store owes me $10.29.
Vaporface is full of shit.
Officer, if you side with him, I will sue you and this store. My brother is a well-known attorney. The mention of his name will cause you to lose control of your body fluids.
Now, I had no key to access the video recording machine. There is only one solution to this madness. Sir, calling your brother is not necessary. Here at Fashion Spear, the customer is always right. Let's see what I have in my wallet. $11. You say the store owes you $10.29? Well, please accept this money. Consider the extra change as a gift.
Give that to me. You are a moron.
Smelly dude, everything about you do stinks.
No, I hope Vic is so unsatisfied with this store experience that he never comes back. It was already 1 o'clock. It was time for me to meet Susan in a law prevention office. I met her in the back hallway, patiently waiting. I invited her inside.
About a month ago, I noticed that this customer was coming into the electronics department just about every day. Since she always bought something, I figured she wasn't a shoplifter. But I got suspicious when she always waited until Gus was assigned to work the register. So this morning, I watched her much more closely. She took 3 AirPods to the counter, but Gus only scanned a ticket on one of them. I assumed the customer must have changed her mind by getting the other 2, but Gus bagged all 3.
Susan, this is a serious accusation here. You didn't fabricate this for personal reasons, did you?
Steve, I know Gus is your friend, but your integrity for this store is greater. He saw me watching him after that customer walked out of my department with unpaid merchandise. I don't think Gus cares, because that same customer came back later, and the same thing happened with smartwatches.
Susan, I've known Gus for 20 years, okay? At this stage in his life, everything is working out so well for him. The risk wouldn't be worth it.
Are you going to turn a blind eye to this?
This co-conspirator, can you describe her?
I don't know. She was probably in her mid-20s, late 20s. She was probably, I don't know, Vietnamese or something.
A sickening feeling took over me. Was it Anne, the gold digger who had made a fool of Gus? Susan, I'll talk to Mr. Colston about this, okay? We'll look into it.
Well, I certainly hope so. I better get back to work now. Thank you.
Susan left me with a migraine headache. Gus had no reason to be a thief. But then I wonder. I walked into the employee locker room. Now that I was a loss prevention detective, I carried a ring with all the keys to the lockers. They are subject to be searched at any time, and every employee is aware of this. I found myself standing in front of my best friend's locker. I know this is wrong, but I had to clear him. No, Susan never accused us of taking and stealing merchandise, but whatever I find here will truly speak to his character. An accusation was made, and I'm sure if his locker is free of unpaid items, this burden will be lifted from my shoulders. So I inserted the key, and I opened it. Nothing here. Gus isn't a thief. Susan is a liar. She knows he scored big with the lottery, and she won him back for that reason. And then I heard crackle sounds from my radio.
Steve, come in! Steve, come in!
Mr. Shivers, is that you?
We have chaos in Drew Department! Chaos in Drew Department! Come quickly, please!
Hold your horses. I'll get word to my team. Smelly to all laws prevention. Did you copy that? We have chaos in Drew Department. All units are needed there. Oh. Wait a damn minute. I am the laws prevention department. So I took my time getting there, hoping whatever's happened will be over by the time I arrive. Nope! I stumbled upon a smash and grab robbery in progress. This is not supposed to happen in our store. There are several crooks dressed in hooded sweatshirts and wearing ski masks. And they were using hammers to smash glass counters and filling their bags with boxes of jewelry. Terrified associates and customers turned to me like I was Spider-Man. Oh. Fashion Spirit Law Prevention, stop in the name of the store law. The thugs paid me no mind. How dare they disrespect this plastic badge? Meanwhile, Mr. Shivers was across the aisle, hiding behind a display of cosmetics. You bandits drop those hammers and surrender! The brazen thieves continued snatching our goods like it was trick-or-treat candy. It was time for me to get a little creative. All right, that's it, thugs. You pushed me. Now I'm drawing my gun. After they heard me say gun, they went hauling ass out of the department. I followed them with my finger in the air like an imaginary peacemaker. Bang, bang, bang. These are not warning shots. Bang, bang, bang. Those fools sprinted out of the store. When I reached the sidewalk, I saw them hop into a blue van. It was going so fast, I didn't get a chance to see the license plate number. Of course, the police were called. We sustained a loss of $10,000 from that robbery. I felt terrible. This was an embarrassment. The robbery started on the sales floor where I was supposed to be. Instead, I was investigating my best friend. I was certain Mr. Colston would fire me once he found out about this. This was just an utter embarrassment. You see, our inventory was insured, but Mr. Colston's fragile ego wasn't. After the police left, I was summoned to Mr. Shivers' office. I found him trembling in his chair, chewing away at his dirty nails.
Mr. Colston isn't going to be happy with either one of us. I hope this is all a bad dream.
Well, you want me to throw some hot water in your face?
We can blame the associate in the jewelry department. Yes, she failed to provide good customer service.
Mr. Shivers, what do you mean by that?
You can't go wrong with good customer service. If she had went up to the bandits and offered to assist them, none of this would happen. Mr. Colston always said good customer service is a deterrent against shoplifting.
Those bandits were carrying hammers. They weren't carpenters in here looking to buy power tools. Look at the mess they left back there. Their only intentions was to wipe us out.
Well, someone has to be thrown under the bus. It's not going to be me.
I don't mean to step on anyone's toes here, but you are the manager of the store, not Mr. Colston. I mean, sure, he's the loss prevention district manager and works out of corporate office, but the operations of this store are clearly on you.
Mr. Colston would fire you if he heard you say that.
Well, after this robbery, he may fire me anyway.
My mind is made up. That associate will be the sacrificial lamb. If Mr. Colston recommends her termination, it will be done.
What happened to us, Mr. Shivers? Before Mr. Colston came into the picture, we never came to work acting paranoid like this. We worked in fear of his lurking shadow. This man, that's all he is. Fear is consuming us. And through it all, we're stabbing each other in the back just to keep him at bay. This is not right. Later, it was 4:02 p.m. Mr. Colston was due back at the store at 4:30. It was horrifying to imagine looking for another job at my age. Who would hire an old man fired from his last job for being incompetent? I wandered through the store like a lost soul. And I found myself in the hardware department, and I saw her again. The customer I called Patty. This time, she had a pressure cooker and a Wi-Fi plug in her cart. She rolled her eyes at me as she approached the register, and Sly Gomez greeted her.
Good evening, ma'am. Did you find everything okay? Wow. This Wi-Fi plug is only $19. This is a good buy. Well, it should be. I didn't come here to get ripped off. That pressure cooker's on sale, too. I'm sorry, ma'am, but that pressure cooker's not on sale. I beg your pardon? Yes, you see, these just came in yesterday. All of our clearance merchandise has a yellow ticket. The blue ticket on this pressure cooker means it's our everyday low price. Well, why was it on the clearance shelf? Is this your everyday bullshit? Well, maybe some other customer put it on that shelf there. Well then, you should still give me the sales price other stores do.
Did I hear Patty right? She said other stores would give her the sales price. She settled like an expert thief. This is a ploy to make us less profitable.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't change the price on this. Do you still want to purchase this? Well, I didn't want to spend that much.
Well, we have other pressure cookers on sale.
Maybe we can find some within your price range. Let me come out there and help you. Okay, come on, hurry up.
I have seen and heard enough. It was time for me to put the Wicked Witch of the West in her place. Sly, may I interject?
What is it now, Steve?
Ma'am, do you think you can fool us into thinking this pressure cooker's on sale?
Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
Sly, this is the third time today she tried to shortchange us. You be careful with this one.
You cranky old bastard.
I know you are, but what am I?
Steve, will you let me help the customer? You're nothing but a lowly bum, you know that.
Lady, at least I have decency. You want to rip us off. Now, a few hours ago, you tried to make off without paying for a pair of sunglasses. You should be thankful I didn't detain your ass dead.
Detain this, you motherfucker! Mr. Gomez, you can keep all this shit. This will be the last time I shop in here. Ma'am, please wait!
Patty stormed out of the store and entered the dark, dead mall. Go then! Go steal somewhere else! Stop affecting our bottom line!
Steve, what has come over you, man? I needed that still.
She's a pirate! That lady was just looking to bully you into giving her a discount for something else. I may not be street smart, but I'm PhD store smart. Then a customer nudged my arm. Excuse me. If you are store smart, why didn't you catch that thief in the clothing department? I saw him stuffing handbags in his pants. Say what?
Yeah, about 5 minutes ago.
Now, I didn't get a good look at his face, but I saw him hurrying to the double doors where I think you guys keep your inventory. This guy might be a professional thief working for a crime organization. You better go back there and stop him. The prospect of catching a member of an organized crime gang sounded appealing. The police can extract useful information from a small fish and use it to catch a bigger fish. This was an opportunity to earn some respect. I just might remain employed after all. Hey, Sly, tell Mr. Shiver to meet me in the loading dock. We have a possible theft in progress. So I entered the loading dock. It's a wide open space with merchandise all lined up. No one was here, but I faintly heard a man singing. I followed into the men's bathroom. And then I opened the door. Oh.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
So I ducked and looked underneath the stall, and I recognized those brown boots and the pants slumped below those hairy legs. It was my friend Gus. I figured he clocked out already and was preparing to head home after dropping his war bomb. I wonder if he spotted an intruder.
Oh, stealing is like farming. There's always plenty to harvest. Ha ha ha.
A cold chill went up my spine. Why would he say something like that? I started to feel nauseated, and it wasn't coming from that horrendous odor. So I stood up, and then I walked into the employee locker room. A tug of war plagued my consciousness. Part of me just wanted to return to the sales floor and tell Mr. Shivers nothing looked out of place. And then Mr. Shivers burst in.
Steve, do we have a shoplifter back here somewhere? Do we need to call the police again?
I approached Gus's locker. Mr. Shivers followed closely behind me. I inserted my key, and I slowly opened his locker, and scores of handbags started spilling out. It reminded me of Niagara Falls. The price tags were still attached to every single one.
Steve, that's Gus Ghetto's locker.
Hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of high-end purses laid at our feet. Gus won $1 million. Well, why would he do something like this? This don't make no sense. He's 4 days away from retiring.
Steve, I know Gus is your friend, but we have to call the police back.
No, let's gather everything up and put it back in Gus's locker. We must make it look like we weren't in here snooping around.
We can't dismiss this.
We must follow store policy with the 10 of the dishonest associate. Now, we didn't see Gus steal and hide this stuff. We must confront him at the employee interest. Most likely, he'll try to leave with the stolen goods.
Mr. Coldstone should be on his way back to the store. I'm texting him right now.
We positioned ourselves at the back door. Mr. Shivers and I stood side by side. He sweated like a man on death row. And for me, it was all pitiful. Gus was my best friend. I knew this was going to change our friendship forever. We stared down that dark hallway waiting. Then came the rapid footsteps. And Gus emerged from the shadows carrying a large duffel bag. And upon seeing me, his smile became a frown.
Hey, Steve, are you off the clock, too?
Gus, this is one of them random searches we got to do. You mind stepping up here and unzipping that bag, please?
Very funny, Steve. You're your gags.
I wish this was a gag, my friend.
Look, you know I'm not a thief. We known each other for 20 years. Did Coldstone put you this? Sure he had. This is insulting. You're doing way too much to impress that son of a bitch. Steve, Gus, we want to see the contents of that bag right now. What the hell is this about? There's nothing in here but spoiled food I kept for weeks in the refrigerator. I'm just looking to get rid of it.
Then you wouldn't mind us taking a look, Gus. Come on now.
I can't believe this. This is crazy. I'm 4 days away from retiring, and my best friend's accusing me of stealing.
You said that, Gus. I didn't. Come on, man. Now, you know all employees leaving for the day are subject to a bag search. Come on, let's just get this over with. I can't believe this. This is crazy. Then Gus looked over his shoulder. He looked like he was ready to make a run for it.
Gus, don't even think about it. We have police officers in the store waiting to talk to you. Don't make this worse than it already is.
That was a wise tactic by Mr. Shivers, but that wasn't true.
Steve, how bad can this be?
It's never too late to do the right thing, my friend. Let me see the bag now. Gus reluctantly surrendered the bag to me.
Look, I knew it was wrong. I was gonna stop. Okay? I was gonna stop. Gus, you are so screwed. Steve, I'm being cooperative. Please tell me I won't go to jail like Lurie. What do you say, old friend?
Gus, you know I would never lie to you. This is out of my hands. This company comes down hard on associates who steal. Gus, why'd you do this? You never won $1 million, did you? And Gus turned away from me with his head down, and he sauntered back into the darkness. Gus, where are you going? Gus! Gus!
Steve, he's getting away. What are we gonna do?
I have a bad feeling about this. You should call 911, okay? So I followed after Gus, called out for him. Gus! Gus, where are you going? In the loading dock, he started up a spiral staircase that led up to the roof. Gus, where are you going? Gus! I went up after him. Above, I heard him unlock the door to the roof. I managed to reach the top, and I stepped outside, and there he was, standing on the edge of this multi-story building. What was he going to do, jump? We're talking about a fall of 50 feet, and the last thing I want to do was provoke him. So I took timid steps over to him, and meanwhile, on the ground level, police cars were pulling up to the building. Gus, you know I'm afraid of heights now. You come off of there. Come on, Gus. That's not true. I never won $1 million. Stay back. Stay away. I'll jump. I swear I will. You got it, man. I won't do anything. Radio Mr. Shivers. Tell him if I see so much another person up here, I will jump down. I'm not kidding. Mr. Shivers, Gus said he will jump off the roof. Nobody comes up here. Tell the police to stand back. Nobody else comes up here. Now, can we talk, my friend? What is there to say? 4 years ago, Ann paid me a surprise visit here at the store. She expressed remorse for how she ditched me. I thought she wanted me back. She came in often and started asking for little things here and there. What things? Pricey Coach bags, designer jeans, expensive jewelry. I'm in love with Ann. I could never say no to her. And then after some time, it occurred to me, I got thousands of dollars worth of stuff without breaking a sweat. And why not? I barely make more money than you do, working in nearly every department for the store without the slightest respect from the corporate office. But why are we slaving for pennies and protecting their assets like it's our personal shit? It's not, Steve, and it never will be. I understand that, but deception is the wrong way to go. That light of truth will set you free, my friend. Just tell Amanda I always loved her. Just tell her she's my only daughter. Just please tell her that I always loved her. Gus, you're going to tell her that yourself. Now listen to me. You're still my friend. I'm going to be at your side and support you through all this. How do you think Amanda will feel if you decide to go ahead with this? It will be unbearable for her. Unbearable. Yes, so you don't want to do this. Come on, Gus. To my relief, it looked like Gus was coming to his senses. Then out of nowhere, a bird dropped and splattered on his head. He froze, and he rubbed his hair and took a look at the white sticky mass in his palm. And then that same bird flew past his face, scaring the crap out of him. Gus lost his balance, and he fell over. His hands latched into the edge of the roof. He hanged on for dear life, and by now a crowd had gathered below to witness a deadly situation. I ran over Gus, and I took his arm with both my hands. I could see the fear in his watery eyes. Steve, for God's sake, don't let me go! Pull me up, oh God, help me! For an atheist, he pleased God a lot. His feet kicked away like a child with a temper tantrum. His loose pants slipped further and further down, exposed his hairy ass cheeks. Below, people had their phones out, laughing, recording the whole thing. I don't want to die! I don't want to die! Gus, pull yourself up! I can't hold on! I can't hold on! I had to hold on, Gus, but I didn't have the strength to pull him up. I begged for God's intervention. Lord, please spare Gus's life. I didn't want to fail and look to his eyes as he plunged to his death. I never forgot the dreadful look in Sabrina's eyes in her last moments. Please, Lord, not again, please. And to my surprise, Mr. Coldstone rushed over to my side and he took Gus's other arm. Smelly,
Hold his dumb ass. I have this side. Mr. Cole, don't save me! Shut the hell up, Gus. Stop the damn skirming.
We screamed to pull my friend up. Mr. Coldstone and I working side by side. We lifted Gus over the ledge and we hurled him back into the surface. Three of us just lay there on our backs, facing the sunset. And by now, Gus had fainted. Mr. Coldstone turned to me as we were catching our breath.
I would have caught this dirtbag before his last day.
About a dozen police officers and paramedics poured out into the roof. The EMTs checked out Gus, and once they determined he was fine, the police officer handcuffed him. He was escorted downstairs. He had the look of a broken-hearted man. He knew his life was over. In the parking lot, I watched that police cruiser pull out of the lot. Gus has worked for this store for 20 years. What a waste. What a waste. Later at the police station, Gus confessed to stealing from Fashion Spear for 4 years and selling the goods online. With that information, they went to his home. In his basement, where I'd never been, they recovered $800,000 worth of stolen merchandise. $100,000 in cash was found in his closet. This is the worst our store has ever seen. Gus had Lori and her crackhead boyfriend look like amateurs. I sat down on the sidewalk and I reflected. I no longer care about this job anymore. I no longer want to be treated like a weak jellyfish. It was time for me to give Mr. Coldstone a piece of my mind. I marched into that executive suite, and I found a bastard in there plucking hair of his nose with his fingers.
Oh, it's you. I forgot you were here. I heard what happened in the jury department. I am not happy about that. We'll have to work on your floor surveillance skills. Your job is safe for now, Smelly. You may go home now.
Mr. Coldstone, my first name is Steve, and you can go to hell.
What did you say to me?
I don't whisper like Mr. Shivers.
Have you lost your mind?
I lost more than my mind. I lost a friend. But I gained something. Self-respect and honor for the people I work with. Mr. Coldstone, you lack the qualities that define a righteous man. As human beings, we're not perfect. But you don't even try to be. Just because you have authority over others doesn't give you a right to be an asshole. Now, I know my weakness, and I know my strength. And serving under you as a store detective is not a right fit for me. I quit. Mr. Coldstone just sat there, speechless. I walked out of that room feeling happy. Now it was time to look for another job. I still had 5 years left on that mortgage. Outside, I climbed into my old rusty Volkswagen. Oh, not again, not now. The starter, no. I looked out my window and I saw Mr. Coldstone approaching my car. He looked like he meant business and wanted to get the last word on me before I could flee. I would love to run his ass over. Oh, hell.
Smelly, or should I say Steve. I never had an employee with the guts to talk to me the way you did. As crazy as it sounds, I respect that. It also had me thinking, I am a hard manager to handle. With that said, I prefer to keep you on board. I'll give you back your old job as retail guard.
Is this a joke?
No joke. Not only will I give you back your old job, I'll give you a $1 raise.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I'll just have to pull detectives from other stores to come and assist us until I fill the vacancies. Steve, it's been stressful. I'm still busting my ass for trying to find a new manager for this site. And I need you. Do we have a deal?
I accepted those terms. I also convinced him to talk some sense into Mr. Shivers. That associate in the jury department, she wasn't fired. On that summer day, I lost a friend. I lost a friend. It was sad. It was just terrible. Gus was charged and he pleaded guilty and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. That's what his daughter told me. Behind those walls, I heard he found God. Maybe someday I'll hear from him. Mr. Coldstone never again disrespected me. I can't speak for the other employees in that store. Alex Midas is still ranting on about that reward money we owe him. Today, as I walk through this store, I am loved and I'm hated. But none of that matters. All I want the next 4 years is for my work to speak for itself. My late wife Sabrina once said, "You judge a workman by the work left done." Earlier, I spoke to you all about Proverbs 25:28. Resist temptation. As new employees, I hope you all do the right thing. If an old man like me can take all the madness the store can give, so can you. Let's all work together. This concludes the new hire orientation. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. The idea for the story's been floating around my head for years, but really what ignited the drive to write the story was when I heard about this closure of the Eastfield Mall in Springfield. One of my earliest memories is going to the Eastfield Mall. So what I did is I took out a handbook and longhand, I wrote out this story based on my experiences working in loss prevention, my earliest memories of security guards, loss prevention, and I came up with this story. I've always cherished this idea that was going on in my head because I remember Leechmere, Radio Shack, Bacory's, all these wonderful stores that we will never hear from again. And I was just so, with God's grace, I was able to get this idea and this story on paper. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I also hope to inspire other artists, actors, that they can also take their ideals and run with it, have a solo play, if they have a passion for it. So I want to thank you all for coming out here, and I hope you had a great time. Thank you.